Hey, welcome to another edition of the Bundy Breakdown on Bundy Club. We got my man David Faustino, also known as Bud Bundy and Grandmaster B. What up? And my guy Brian.
Tis I, tis I.
What up, Brian, our little genius? Well, thank God we got you here.
What's
Oh
up,
my God.
guys? What's going on, fellas?
I
Ready
have
for
to say,
the
our hats
awesome
are
money
looking very
breakdown.
good. Are,
I
are we?
think I think I think Brian's starting to feel a little too comfortable here. He's now inserted himself on the couch with us. He's not lurking in the background where he belongs, peering through the window.
Well, at 6:15, we got a guest coming. We have Greg Fitzsimmons today, four-time Emmy Award winner, one of the funniest comedians you've ever seen. He's got Fitz Dog Radio. And I mean, if you've seen his YouTube special, which I believe the both of you did your homework and watched his YouTube special, he kills.
Hilarious.
He's a
Hilarious.
killer,
Super
killer.
funny.
So
Yeah.
today we're gonna dig a little deeper on our guy David Faustino. Not because we couldn't get any like former cast
Don't
members,
dig too
directors.
deep on me. All right.
Huh?
I said don't dig too deep into me. I don't
I
know.
won't. I'll try not to. But
Anyway, I'm going to tell the guys, switch over to bundyclub.com. I'm going to sign off here. I hope you join us. We're having a good time. Come see Greg Fitzsimmons. Peace.
love it. Live on Instagram. See, we're crossing platforms over.
Oh,
Um, we're gonna dig deep, David. I'm not gonna
yes.
actually dig into you, but we got this little thing that you created called Grandmaster B, which we're gonna talk a lot about, and we're gonna really get into. He's kind of like mythological, like what happened after Married with Children with Grandmaster B. We're going to talk about that too, and we're going to talk about your career a little more than usual. What's interesting about our guest is he's never seen Married with Children until probably today, minutes before the show. So he'll be in here at 6:15, and it'll be really cool to see what he thinks of it. What do you think? Do you think he'll like it?
It's interesting that you asked that because, again, I've talked about this in prior episodes that we've done here. It's like Married with Children was beloved by the fans. They ate it up, loved it. It was, number one in of the ratings and in prison. But it was never sort of respected by its peers, as we say. And so, because it wasn't highbrow humor, it was lowbrow humor, which I personally am a fan of. So it'll be interesting to see if he liked it. It's an interesting episode because, to me, in my opinion, there's a lot of hit or miss in that episode. I think a lot of there's some hilarious moments, but there's actually some moments that fell flat, in my opinion. And I was thinking of Greg watching it. I'm like, oh, which episode? How is he going to take this? I know, oh, he'll think this is hilarious. And then I go, oh, he'll think this part's fucking stupid. But we'll see. We'll see.
No, I noticed that we have our elite slouchers in the room. I love that Richard Gurman is back to watch us. He's always
Yes.
welcome to have a seat. So give it up for our
Bring him
guy,
in and say
Richard
hi real
Gurman.
quick.
Oh,
Mr.
there he
Gurman is
is.
in the building. Hello, sir. We have a fellow writer he's muted. We have a fellow writer who's never seen Married with Children, Greg Fitzsimmons. Um, I still can't hear Richard, but
I
and
got him.
oh, I think it's asking you to unmute, Mr. Gurman.
I'm
There you are.
unmuted now.
So
Richard, welcome
he's
back.
never seen. We were just kind of breaking down it. Will he, what he'll think of the show being a
Yeah.
writer? He wrote on Ellen, four-time Emmy winner. Which I don't believe. Is it true that we only got an Emmy
Lighting.
for lighting?
I think so. I could be wrong. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I was just
Wow.
saying I love this episode, but there was moments to me that, like, I thought there was some hilarious moments, and I thought there was
Right.
some dip down, like, okay, but it was a great episode, but it wasn't my favorite of all episodes.
Yeah, it's tough in an episode when you're introducing a new concept like Grandmaster B, and you have to get a lot of exposition out. Like, where are you now? You're in college. You pipe as we call it in the room. So it was kind of a mixture of things, some really funny and some flat stuff. I agree.
Yeah, and all the baby stuff was, it was hard to, get into that mode for me, like watching the characters around that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
But
got to tell you, Richard, look what I got.
Oh,
My favorite book.
okay. One of my favorites too.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. I
Richard's
believe we're
favorite.
gonna I believe we're gonna put a link on our site soon. I think Brian's about to hook that up.
Oh, that
So
would be
so
fantastic.
for those that want to see or read the book, so far it's off to a great start. I love it. It's really cool to hear from your perspective. I mean, it's well written. I mean, I would expect that from you, but it's really cool to like hear it from your voice. You know,
Well, I got a lot of help from people like David, from people in the cast, and Ed and Katie, telling their anecdotes and figuring a way to blend them in. So, thank you for linking me up.
no, it's great. And when I go to sleep at night, I put it on Audible as well, and it's kind of
Is
hoping
Rich,
it would be.
do
What's that,
you
David?
do you narrate it, Richard?
No, no, no. They got a guy from the
Oh,
publishing house. So,
how dare you not hire me?
yeah.
Morgan Freeman.
I was going to say
Obama.
11 labs we have now. We could just AI that thing.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
Where are my AI people at? It won't
Uh,
replace writers.
oh, what was I gonna say about that? Yeah, anyway, so yeah, the episode was it was a cool episode. It was because I use a lot of those sound bites because I DJ as my like side hustle and for
Right.
fun and just whatever. And so part of that intro, I actually got it off YouTube where they string together all of the sort of names that they can't get correct when they're trying to get Grandmaster B. Corchester, Grandma,
Oh,
Grand
yeah,
Marshal,
yeah, yeah.
Godmother. I mean, all of them, and I string it together and I put it to a beat, and it sort of ends with I can't remember. It echoes out on me, yelling and screaming about that I'm Grandmaster. Oh, I know how it ends. It goes, uh, "Mommy, I'm cool. Really, I am cool." It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I
and
never got tired of the mistakes that people made for Grandmaster B. It was it was always very funny, and it in a way it keeps you in character. You're this cool. I mean, you do have this alter ego, Grandmaster B, but then everyone's kind of shitting
Yeah, yeah.
from the side. So
Oh man.
you don't want to completely change the character. You want to alter it. Here you are going to college and taking things into your own hand, but they
Mhm.
wouldn't kind of let you go. And Katie kept you into the mommy gang and
Yeah,
all that. You got to balance that because
yeah.
it's not like lightning struck you and you became this like totally new
Mhm.
guy. But I mean, you did get with babes a lot more, and but
Well,
you
it's like she said, I scared and excited her, right? That was like her
yeah.
first line,
But
which
you
made me
weren't completely, totally successful.
yeah,
There was a balance. So
fuck, yeah.
yeah, it was great.
One of my favorite lines from the episode was when he comes back. I think he's up in the he's look. Al comes down with the box of stuff, and he's
Right,
like making a sort of guess, like, "Well, guess what I found? Guess what I found?" Everybody,
right.
and he says something to Kelly. Yes, pumpkin. You found a pumpkin, Daddy? I
Yeah.
mean, the way she read that was hilarious.
yeah, I think it's
Brilliant.
great.
She
Um,
always reads those malaprops and those mistakes as if she's the smartest person in the room.
Oh my God.
So, that just adds a little edge to the humor.
Richard, I'm glad you're here because I have a question about Grandmaster B. When I did a little research on Grandmaster B, what I noticed was I believe the writers, probably you included, knew about David's love for hip hop and how into it he was. And I heard that it started off as like a little jab, like let's like jab him a little bit and throw that into an episode. Was it based on truth? Like, what is that? How it started?
Funny enough, I wasn't there that year, but I was told the same thing that you were told. And I think I remember an interview from David that the writers picked up on the fact that it was such a heavy hobby with you. It was such a heavy lifestyle thing that they thought, what the heck, why not work it in? It's very hard after 6 years on a show, after 5 years, whatever, to come up with completely new original stuff. I mean, having a baby was one idea, but David's move into this groove, if you'll forgive
Yeah.
the rhyme, really added a lot, and not sometimes with a whole story, and sometimes just with a beat. He's coming through the room and, there's something going on. So I wasn't there, but I have heard the same thing that the writers were honed in on David's interests.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I had guys like, were, because I had gotten into hip hop maybe. Let's see, I want to say I'm like 15 there, maybe 16. I think I had gotten into hip hop like 2 or 3 years prior to that, and then I really started getting into heavy, and like guys like Ice Cube he came to the set a few times, and just all these sort of King T and Ice T and all the LA sort of hip hop scene would kind of show up here and there. And I think they were like, yo, what, Faustino's really into this thing. Like, like you said, let's jab him. And what I do want to say is a testament to the writers and a testament to the character and the show in general is that could have gone one of two ways, right? People could have been like, oh man, he's fronting and this is like, because the hip hop community, they take shit serious and they want, but they it was like a nod. They were like, oh man, this is hilarious. We love this. I still get love to it, from it to this day. So it's kind of cool.
Well, and when you were hip hopping, when you were rapping, you did it cool. You did it like they do it. So
well, almost.
Well, you guys do it. I don't mean they separate from
I think he's saying you pulled it off.
Well, yeah. Like I always say, I'm no Busta Rhymes.
It felt authentic, and it was because that was part of your world. So,
Well, thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. I want to give a couple of shout outs really quick before I got my man Casey, who's here. I see you, brother. And that man, I've been moving all week. I don't wish it upon anybody. It's been a lot. So Casey's been there for me, man. He's been helping me out. I see a few. I don't know if AZ, my DJ buddy in crime, he might be here, and a couple other people who did some fan art that he introduced me to that did some really cool fan art, and we'll post those up on the site soon. I do have to start on a slightly somber note, and I just want to give a shout out and some love to someone who we lost last week. Huge part of the show. A woman named Marty Squires, who was the costume designer from start to finish and helped come up with the looks of Peg, with Katie and the looks of all the characters, and was a great, great, solid woman. She used to have these amazing Christmas parties every year that everybody would go to. And she was just a really warm, awesome person. And she, had a battle with cancer, and it was a rough one. And we lost her last week. So it was a tough loss for the Married with Children family over here.
Yeah.
So shout out, Marty.
You think of the wardrobe. You think of, you certainly think of Katie very specifically, and Christina too.
Yeah.
And you guys you and Ed always looked in character, even if it wasn't a big, huge statement.
Yeah.
But she was dedicated totally.
Yeah. I'll miss her. She was a very sweet woman, and we stayed in contact all these years, as we just, by the way, after we did like our first like crew reunion in what was it, 30 years, Richard?
Yeah, something like that.
And we did it at her place, and it was a trip, man, because all these people I hadn't seen in 30 years, crew members, writers, producers, lighting guys, prop guys, were all there, and it was like a little kind of crew reunion, and it was very cool, and it was at Marty's place. So rest in peace, Marty. We love you. We love you.
I think we got to swap writers now for the couch. Sorry, Richard.
You're out of here, German.
You can put me up in the peanut gallery if you want. Whatever.
There he is.
There he is. Look at that. Two legendary writers, one on top of the other. I love this. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my man, Greg Fitzsimmons.
Hey, Greg.
It's a pleasure to be under Richard. It feels good.
Could be a line in an episode.
Gentle but firm. Gentle but firm.
Gentle but firm.
Welcome, brother.
Welcome to the show. You probably figured out it's not your usual podcast. We're doing it a little different. It's a members only podcast, and we're using the Zoom platform. So you got to pay to see it live and interact. And then, we got all kinds of tiers. We're all about marketing. But so that's what you're in right now is the live version. And then we put it in our members area later. But you got a podcast right now. It's Fitz Dog Radio, right, Greg?
I actually do 3. I've been doing Fitz Dog Radio for like 15 years now, every week. And then I do one called Sunday Papers that I've been doing for about 7 years. And it's a lot. It's you guys will get this feeling when you've been doing it for a while, but it's Sisyphus. You just keep rolling the boulder up the hill every week.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of podcasts. How often are you doing them then? Like once a week each one, or what
Each
do you
one
do?
is once a week. Yeah.
And do you always have guests, or are there some times where you and your co-host just riff, or do you always have a guest?
Fitz Dog Radio, I have a guest every week. I'll have on actors, mostly comedians, sometimes directors. And then Sunday Papers is me and my buddy Mike. We've been best friends since college, and he's a big showrunner. He creates a lot of shows. And then we go through the Sunday Papers. We do the front page, the business section, entertainment section, and we have jokes about each section of the newspaper.
Oh, that's great. Now, do you do it all sort of off the cuff, or do you prep stuff? I mean, I'm guessing in the beginning, maybe you prep some stuff and now you just kind of roll with the punches.
No, we do a lot of work. There's a lot of prep.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to pull the stories, write jokes, and then every episode we have a different listener writes a song. So we have a different theme song every week for 7 years.
Oh,
We
amazing.
have a different logo every week for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of mailing, like the cartoons every week are written by the viewers. So it's very interactive.
Darren, I hope you're writing this. I hope you're writing this down so we can steal all these ideas for our own show.
I'm going to write you a song. I'm going to make you one of my great AI songs.
Who performs the song?
They do it all.
Wow.
We don't accept AI. It's all got to be original music.
Wow.
Sometimes it'll be like a guy who's got a great funk band, and sometimes it's just some lonely loser with an acoustic guitar that's out of tune in his garage.
Now, how do you know? How can you tell if something is like as good as it's getting? How do you know if it's AI or not?
Well, that's just it. If it's too good, it's AI. You could smell AI music pretty easily.
I can.
There's no soul to it. There's not the little, I don't know, there's like inflections of emotion that you can feel when somebody's done the music.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Darren here is the AI master, so you're probably hurting his feelings a little bit. He loves.
Actually, I got a hit song on my hands this week, but I used a human for my vocals. I don't know if you know Ika Mouse, the reggae.
I love Ika Mouse.
Yeah, so I got him in the studio, and he layered his vocals over my AI track. So I actually did 3 songs with a human. How about that?
Wow.
Right? Not bad. Not bad.
So when you say a hit, what does that mean?
It's getting played right now through the algorithm through Spotify. So like,
okay.
Yeah, so it keeps rising right now and getting more and more.
3 listens already, bro.
I'm up to 4, I think.
Oh,
it's
okay.
doing
4
great. Yeah, we're getting there. I'll make one for you, Greg, with a human on it.
Well, the one thing it hasn't been able to do, like I know a lot of comedians that have tried to have AI write jokes for them.
Horrible.
It can't do it.
Oh,
Can't
wow.
do it.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know. And,
yeah,
it's definitely, I think a lot of people that write scripts are trying to block out, an outline for a script with AI and then fill it in. But I hear the same thing from screenwriters that it's not. David, maybe you've tried.
Me or Richard?
Oh, Richard, I mean, sorry.
No, the only thing I use AI for in writing is to get quotes and sources.
Right.
So a book, so I can look up in a book about a certain period or something in pop culture. But I don't think it's that good.
I think too, like it would go back to what you said, to use it as a tool. It's like, okay, I can see you getting an outline for something and then filling stuff in. If that helps you and it propels the story, helps you move and not be frozen and stuck in something, maybe it's helpful. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough because like I've written on a lot of shows over the years, and sometimes you have I was just talking about this with somebody today. Sometimes you've got 12 writers in a room, but at the end of the day, 2 or 3 of them are writing the scripts. And there's a lot of people that are just kind of, they chime in. Maybe they're good for the room. Maybe they're funny in the room, so they keep the room warm. But it really is usually like, sometimes it's not even the showrunner. Sometimes it's just somebody that really is prolific, and they just get the show and they get everything on.
It's funny. There's this stereotype that sitcom writers are either joke guys or story guys. But Ron and Michael, who created and ran Married with Children, both of them were both.
Yeah.
And they tended to hire people that were both too. So the level of stuff that was pitched to what got in was pretty high, in the Married instance. Yeah.
Was there a lot of turnover in the writer's room, or did you guys have the same people the whole time?
There was some. I was in and out. I think I was there for like 8 or 9 of the 11 years, and there was a decent amount of turnover. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I thought it would be fun to have Greg on today because I think his humor aligns a lot with the unfiltered humor of the show, especially on network TV. It's crazy you guys got away with what you guys did. And I thought from a writer's perspective, it would be fun to have Greg, who never watched Married with Children before, take a glimpse at not David's favorite episode, but a decent one with the Grandmaster B saga.
Shame. I'm saying, no, I think it's awesome. Like, because Darren said, he's never seen the show. I went, oh shit, really? And then I thought, okay, this is going to be interesting to have, a guy who's won Emmys and is a writer and obviously a great comedian. It'll be interesting to see again what, like Darren just said, it's not my favorite episode. There are episodes that flow much better and that are just. I mean, the pilot episode I think is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But yeah. So what sort of, why do you think you've never seen it? Being that you're in television, why do you think you never saw an episode of a show that was on 11 seasons? I'm just curious.
I didn't watch a ton of sitcoms, and I guess when I did, like I just didn't associate Fox with sitcoms very much. Like. There had been like In Living Color, like there'd been Sketch, but you guys were probably one of the first sitcoms on Fox, right?
For sure.
I believe
Yeah,
so.
there was another show on called Mr. President.
George C. Scott.
And there was a Gary Goldberg show on at the same time about a realtor or something like that, about a woman who's a realtor. But Married stayed, and the other shows kind of dropped away. Yeah.
I think also, to be honest, like the times I had watched it, and I feel like this is the same with me and Sam Kinison, is like when I first heard Sam Kinison, I was like, all right, this guy is the guy that I grew up in New York, and like this was the Italian guy I didn't like, even though he was actually Jewish. And so I didn't watch him. And then years later, I started again and I thought, oh, it's a bit. All right, now I get it. And I think the same thing with Married with Children. I think I didn't realize it was kind of meta, that it was kind of commenting on sitcoms. And I think I was taking it at face value in the little bit that I watched. And so I didn't get that into it. Well, now I watched the episode and I think it's fucking great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I would love for you to watch the pilot at some point. Watch that pilot episode. I mean,
right.
Hey, Brian, hook them up with the elite sloucher level, our Mac Daddy level. We'll get you in our community. It's
one of the things that you just said, I think, is a testament to why it was successful in terms of meta. Ron and Michael wanted to break the form in terms of the material and the outrageousness, but they wanted to cleave to the form in terms of beginning, middle, and end, how people exited, entered, plot devices and so on. So you're sitting there and you say, oh, I know this, it's a sitcom. And then you say, but what the fuck? So you're sort of grounded in the form, but then you're just taken by surprise by things like David's performance and Ed's performance. Yeah,
there was that funny jab at NBC in this one. I think it was like there was something about Prince of Bel-Air And they
Yeah.
said, well, that's on NBC, so no one's seen it or something like that. I think that was the truth.
Yeah, definitely.
That must have been a time when the ratings were slipping at NBC for a while.
Well, honestly, and the biggest meta joke was always on Fox,
Yeah,
because
that's true.
the idea that you couldn't get a clear signal on Fox, so everybody had to stand with aluminum foil by the
Right,
TV
right. I
when it was
remember
time to
that.
watch
Yep.
Fox. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Yep.
we riffed on that a lot. That was fun.
No,
Yeah.
it actually reminded me a little bit of the scene. Do you remember Natural Born Killers with Rodney Dangerfield doing the sitcom? Like,
yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's right. Within
Oh, wow, I
the
forgot about
Mallory.
that.
yeah, it was
yeah,
within the
that's right.
movie. They did like a very same thing. It was like with the big canned audience laughter
Right.
and the sexual overtones. It was actually very similar.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if they got any references, like if they got any inspiration from Married with Children, because I totally forgot about that until you brought. I forgot that was even a part of the film.
Yeah, but no, and it really is. The tone is great, and that character was very fun. So how many episodes did you do that character?
Well, Grandmaster B, so that was like the 6th season, right? So I mean, we wove it in and out throughout the years after, right, Richard? I mean, we didn't milk it to death, but I think we, kind of weaved it in and out, right?
Yeah, it's like someone coming home from work, you got a story about your rapping or. I mean, it definitely was in there from that show that you saw on to the end in bits and pieces.
And the way they kept running the joke was that no matter how long it went, they could never get the name right up till the end. They could never say Grandmaster B. It was
Yeah.
always Court Jester B or.
I love that
Yeah.
they called you Mixmaster because I'm also partners with Mixmaster Mike, who might
That's
actually
right.
be in our Zoom tonight. I
Shout
don't know
out
if he's there or
Mixmaster
not, but Brian, let me know if Mixmaster Mike comes in. But yeah, so I love that part. Both my partners' names being crossed over. It's kind of weird.
It's funny because I didn't notice or I didn't remember really until I saw this episode. Everyone kind of makes the mistake, and it's kind of a put down, but it's like they don't care enough about you to really get it. But then there's one time when Christina, I think it was Bushwhacker B, where she actually takes the shot at you. She looks up with a wink in her eye. Instead of it being a mistake, she's
that's
actually
funny.
taking a shot. Yeah.
Bushwhacker.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, people on social media are fucking hilarious. They come up with stuff like beyond what we ever said, like things that relate to maybe something I've posted or talked about, and they find a way to weave in another mistaken, Grandmaster B. It's very funny, man.
Yeah, our fans catch everything on the show. Like when we get our callers that we patch in, they know more than Richard knows, more than David knows. They actually correct. I've seen them be corrected before. Like, no, it wasn't a two episode; it was a 3-episode saga. Whoa!
I just thought of something funny someone posted when we started this podcast a month or so ago. Someone wrote when I posted, they were, what is it? Cash grabber B. Money grabber B. That made me laugh, man.
That's good. That's good.
So
Darren was telling me you also you actually do rap and DJ.
I DJ mostly. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not afraid to spit some bars and sometimes in a studio session. I mean, I love hip hop. And as I just mentioned before you go on, I always say I'm no Busta Rhymes, but I can hold my own,
Right.
Yeah, I created several little characters throughout the years, alter egos of different rap characters. One of them, the most recent I did was sort of because I was funny because I was listening to your special today, and the Irish thing cracked me up, dude. The whole fucking freckles that turn into skin cancer by 30. I loved all that because I'm half Irish and I'm half Italian. But so I created a character called Little Gweed. Which is sort of like a reference to that. And he's, kind of my alter ego. That was a fun one. Yeah, so I've been just playing with it throughout the years, but mostly I DJ, and that's how I met Darren here. and through his brother, and he's hired me to, come out to Vegas several times. And I just love hip hop and I love DJing. And I know some of the guys from Beat Junkies are on here tonight, wherever you are. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so it's just that then that's kind of how we were talking. I don't know if you were here, but that's kind of how it came about. I was this huge hip hop fan, and I would have all these guys come into set, whether it was Eazy-E or Ice Cube or Ice-T, and and they were kind of going,
Wow.
"What's up with Faustino? Like he's really into this thing, Let's fucking have some fun with this." And that's kind of
Yeah.
how the whole thing was birthed. Yeah.
And I knew that he had the skills because I watched him on Instagram, and I knew that he was on the level where I could say, hey, why don't you perform my party in Vegas and open up for Akon, which at the time was actually Method Man, but he had to cancel. And then it was Akon, and then another time Method Man. Anyway, he crushed it. And every time he crushed, we had him back 3 times, and every time he crushed it. And you guys have that in common because Greg did our awards show and knows the audience that I'm speaking of.
Yeah, they're an interesting crowd. You can't really. It's a lot of different characters. I had a guy. I went to the after party, and this guy I had shit on the nerds. I called them all nerds, and this guy comes up to me and he goes, "So you're not afraid somebody's going to punch you in the face because you call us nerds?" I go, "Are you going to punch me in the face?" And he's like, "No, man, I was just saying.
Wow, I can't believe somebody would say that.
When that liquor starts flowing, man, you never know what's going to happen. I shared. Go ahead.
Was that the guy that spilled the drink on you?
No, I don't know who that guy was.
Too soon.
It's funny
so
because
if you're half Irish, half Italian, you must be from either Philly, Boston, or New York. Your parents.
no, Chicago.
Oh, okay.
My father's from Chicago, but my mom, her family is from Pennsylvania. So
Okay.
yeah. I'm not sure exactly where. I know, and parts of Ohio. But yeah, so my dad's Sicilian, my mother's Irish, and you do a lot of funny stuff about that, and angry and drunk, and what I think it was like, yeah, I want to fuck you, punch you, drink your drink, fuck you, and punch you, or something like that. As I relate to a lot, and I also, I related to a lot of things you said, especially being sober, which I love that you're open about that, and you talk about that. I'm also sober, probably not as long as you. Just I basically have about 2 years that I've pieced together. And so it's been quite a ride, and some of my sober brothers are on here as well. But
Good for you, man.
yeah. So it's been such a gift, to be. It took me a while. I'm 52, but I said besides my kids, it's probably the greatest gift I've ever given myself.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it today. I took a long walk today to the beach, and I was thinking about being sober and how. At a certain point, it's always a struggle, no matter how long, but there is a certain point where you just start identifying as somebody who doesn't drink. And that becomes a huge change in your struggle with sobriety because it's just a switch. You just go like, oh, no, I don't do that. As opposed to when you're newly sober, you're still kind of like the biggest thing you hear from people is, yeah, but I don't want to like go to my cousin's wedding and not be able to drink. And then you get to a certain point, you go like, no, but why would I? I don't drink.
Yeah, exactly. It makes total sense. I got to tell you, another thing people say to me all the time is like, oh man, that must be so hard. And I'm like, dude, the other way is way harder. Like, waking up with a hangover and wondering what I said and just all that shit's way harder. Like screwing up my relationship with my wife or my kids seeing me like not me. I think that's way harder. And I'm definitely identifying that way now. It's like, and sometimes, I know sometimes I like to go to and just watch people go from like, normal to just completely stupid, like quickly. Yeah. And I get a kick out of that as well,
Oh yeah. It's definitely like, that's where you feel the gratitude. You're like, oh, I don't have to be that. I don't have to ask my friends tomorrow who I hit on or what stupid shit, not that you just say things that, like I'm not smart enough to take IQ points away from myself with substances anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I need every brain cell I can get.
Yeah, man.
I feel you.
Yeah. So it's a real gift, and I'm super grateful for it. And Katie Seagal is also very open about her sobriety. she got sober. I think Richard, no, I think she was only sober like a year before she got married with children, something like
Yeah,
that,
it
or less.
definitely was new to her when she was on the set. It hadn't been very long.
And
Yeah,
she's now got 40, almost 40 years, man,
Wow. Wow.
which is pretty crazy, as well as Kurt, her husband. And I'm not, they're very open about all of this, so I'm not outing anybody here, but
yeah.
so they're a big
I think
inspiration.
she met him maybe at a group.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
And
so
so
funny how being sober now, like the stigma is off. Like when I was growing up, like people might get sober, but they didn't tell you about. Like Betty
right,
Ford was sober, and that's all you thought about with Betty Ford. And
right,
she's the only sober person that any of us knew. And
right.
now
right.
it's like we've got, young people have so many people to, like my kids, I've talked about it with them, and I think it's helped them have a balance with drinking to know that it can be an issue. It's in the fucking DNA big time. My father died at 53 from drinking. All
Wow.
my grandparents, aunts, uncles, like
Yeah.
it's a stereotype about the Irish, but it really is true.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's true, man. I have so many ancestors, grandparents, and shit that also, either drank themselves to death or drank themselves out of a life.
Yeah.
Um, but
Great way to put it.
yeah. I mean, it's really easy to do,
Yeah.
and it only gets worse, never better, right? That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
So it was funny we were talking about that though. We went from we were talking about spilling a drink, and that's kind of how I segued into that. But it's funny because we did a Bundy reunion where the four family members, Ed O'Neill, myself, Katie, Christina, we did sort of a stage reunion. We did Q&A. We talked about it. We told stories and things, and this group of guys came, and they were just diehard fans, man. They had like, No Ma'am shirts, which was the men's club that Al and his friends created, and they all had these shirts on. And I threw an after party, and they came to that. And these guys, one of them in particular, they got so fucking lit that by the end of the night, because they were yelling at Be Real from Cypress Hill, who was DJing and trying to like scream song requests, and he got annoyed, And so I kind of stepped in and said, "Hey guys," and these guys wanted to fight me after. I was like,
Yeah.
they came to see me and they were ready to kick my ass. It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I deal with it in clubs all the time, stand-up clubs. There's always, when they get drunk, they don't really get that them talking to me on stage or even talking to people at their own table is disruptive because you get in such a bubble, and I had a guy charge the stage one time, and he came up and I hit, like literally came at me because he wouldn't shut the fuck up, and I kept going at him, and he came up on stage with his fist clenched, and I cracked him in the forehead. He was bleeding. He got me in a way. He was from Israel, and he did some Krav Maga shit, and he got me into a headlock, and he was like spinning me around, and
God.
the tables all got knocked over.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
it was in Boston, so like people fucking jumped on him, and
Oh yeah, of course, your people.
yeah, it's insane.
Well,
so
at least
like,
you got a good shot in.
Did you
I
have
got a good shot. It was one of those old school mics, with the like steel mesh.
Oh, so you just
Oh.
clunked him with it.
Was like a Game of Thrones weapon.
Was tape rolling? Do you have a video of that?
No, this was a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Because that would have been all over the place.
Yeah.
But in a way, you kind of Krav Maga'd him because, like, the whole sort of nature, I believe, of Krav Maga is to use whatever it's at your disposal. And you
Right.
had that fucking mesh mic and you just laid it
Yep.
into him. You Krav
Yep.
Maga'd his ass.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah. And but no, Boston, I started in Boston. There was a lot of that. Boston is a fighting town.
Oh, yeah.
People go 0 to 60. It's one of those towns you do not honk at a car.
Oh,
if you don't know what the hell's going to happen. Right.
That's right.
I mean, I guess LA is like that.
LA has become that more recent, like I'd say over the last 10 years, where you really think twice about, because it's so easy to get in road rage here, man. It's like, I'm born and raised here. There's so many fucking stupid people on the road. I can be one of them sometimes, and it just drives you insane. And I used to have a lot of road rage, but one of them, being clean and sober, it kind of, you kind of just dial down your anger comes down, even just in your daily life, but and not always. But also the fear of getting shot in the fucking
Yeah,
head, right? You don't
right.
know.
I know. I kind of have a theory that maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. Like, if everybody, when you were born, you get a gun and it's got one bullet in it, and there's no repercussions on the bullet. You can use it any way you want. You won't get arrested, and that's your only bullet for your whole life. Don't you think everybody would behave better knowing there's a possibility that somebody's got their one shot left?
That's pretty interesting. That's
Yeah.
pretty interesting. Well, it's kind of like in Saudi Arabia or one of these countries where if you steal, they chop your fucking hands off. Consequently, no one steals. So you can leave your doors open at night.
Right, right. Maybe we got a sci-fi movie here.
Yeah,
I was going to say, it feels like a high concept movie.
yeah.
David? What's the closest you got to like actually throwing hands from a road rage incident?
Oh, a couple times. What stopped me from doing it was when I had kids. I have two young kids. Um, and once she was in the car, not my son, but my daughter, and I had a moment, and it scared the living shit out of her. And that's probably the last time I got into a real road rage, even
Yeah.
when I was by myself. But once I got into it with a guy and his girlfriend. And you know how so I'm driving a rental right now. One of my cars is in the shop, so I have a rental Tesla, and it has Florida plates on it. And you know how we're entitled in this town. And
Yeah.
you see an out of state driver if they happen to pause too long at a stop sign, or and they think I'm this, and it's just amazing to see the worst of people come out. And that happened to me. A guy was, I don't know, he's doing something stupid. He had Texas plates. How fucking dare he have
Yeah.
Texas plates in front
Yeah.
of me and not
Right.
drive smartly? And we ended up getting into this thing, and I got out of the car. And he was a bigger guy, but I was so just enraged and insane that I think he was just like, I don't know. I don't know what might happen here.
Yeah.
He kind of backed off, but I thought, I'm glad that nothing happened there. Oh, the Texas boy could have kicked my fucking ass probably. So,
David,
When you got a head full of rage, though, you really do feel indestructible. You feel like you can take anybody on.
right? Right?
And that can get you in a lot of. I've seen enough internet videos of. I see
Oh,
that
yeah.
guy and I go, "Don't do it! Don't do
Yeah.
it!"
You feel like you can, but you
Yeah.
probably can't.
Yeah.
And now
right,
you're
Well, you'll
the
say,
algorithm. That's all you're getting now in the feed, right?
David, tell the story that you told me, and I think I used it in the book. I can't remember. You were out on a date and someone pulled a gun on you.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny because I can relate this back to your special, Greg, because you were talking about, if you were locked up and, you talk about the old story of, you pick the biggest, baddest guy and you whoop his ass and then you have respect for everybody. But, for guys like us, that's probably not going to go down that way. And, you use, I got to go to my humor. And that, there's, and then you round it up with like, you're funny, you're funny. Now come over here and suck my dick. That was hilarious. But no, because Married with Children was one of those shows that was very well, and Ron and Michael talk about this, right, Richard? Like that it was a huge, massive hit with the fans, but it was never like respected by its peers in a way. Kind of like you, Greg. You never even watched one fucking episode.
I'm so sorry. I'm
But,
gonna go back. I'm gonna watch the pilot right after this.
But it was very big in the hood. It was very big in the neighborhoods and the hip hop community. And as a matter of fact, and this I think Richard will attest to this, that it was after Cops. So it was in the state penitentiary. It would go Cops as the highest watch show, and then Married with Children right after that for
Wow.
like years and years. Like nobody, it was always on in the pen. But yeah, so one day I was with this girl. It was actually a girl that was on the show, and we were going on a date, and we're in Hollywood. And this is when the show was just massive hit. It was like in its heyday. And I'm with this girl, and we're in Hollywood. We're walking to her car. She picked me up at her friend's apartment. As then I'm walking down, these two little motherfuckers come up and put a gun right to my head. They're gonna rob us. And I'm just like, oh, here we go. I'm either gonna get shot right now, or they're gonna take me for everything I have. And and they start recognizing me, dude. They're like, oh shit. And they didn't know what to say. They were speechless for a minute. And they're kind of like, oh fuck, oh shit. And they kind of like did, and they just kind of like they let me go.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, they didn't rob me. They
I
took
love
nothing
that.
from
That's
me.
amazing.
So I kind of say like that character saved my life in a way, you know.
And probably got you laid that night.
It did. I think it
Yeah.
did. I think it
Can
did.
I ask you just like, I'm sure you get asked this all the time, but like, you're on this show and you're constantly, I mean, just from the episode I saw, you're with this beautiful young actress. That I would imagine there was a lot of those. And what was the protocol like? Were they cool with you asking out like a guest actress on the show, or did you have to keep that quiet if you did?
Well, it
Good
was a
question.
different time, right? It was a long time ago. That kind of thing was, you know, it was kind of normal. We in those days we felt good about that position, and we did use our position to our benefit, right? And I
Right.
met a lot of lovely women, and a lot of them I didn't date at all. Some of them I did, but one in particular, and Richard will attest to this, was the girl that I was actually in love with for a long time. Was a girl that played Marcy's niece. So our neighbor's niece came to
Yeah.
say that I meet her. A girl named Julieta Black, great actress, great woman, great girl. And we started dating, and I was very in love with this girl, and vice versa. And actually, it kind of ruined our chemistry.
Oh,
Because we were sort of nervous around each other all of a sudden. And
yeah.
it went from these two people playing these characters to sort of all these feelings. And it was like, it was very weird. And I don't know, Richard, do you remember any of this?
No, no. I mean, I do remember you and is it Julia?
Juliet, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you guys being an item, but I don't remember, for example, going down the stage and thinking it was weird or something. I mean, you guys somehow controlled it or whatever. But
I just feel
thank you.
like her arc, like if it wasn't for sort of our weird, like young love that kind of got in the way, I feel like that arc might have gone further. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I do remember there was, instead of like us just being these free characters, that there was this kind of like love thing in the middle, and we were too young to like know how to like really handle that, you know?
How old were you?
Shit. 16, 17, 18, something.
No way.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is intense at that age.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I wasn't like the most confident person in the world. And I was like this beautiful girl that I was head over heels with. And it was interesting, you know. And while I loved her, I wish that the chemistry of the characters had stayed the same.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
No,
you live
no
and
love
learn, right?
scenes ever, David? You didn't have a love scene or a kiss or anything?
No love scenes for this guy, except for maybe with the rubber doll that you guys made me make out with, I think at some point, right? Or
There,
the mannequin it was in one of the episodes.
there was
Oh,
one where you guys were down in the
when
basement hiding from a
when you
hurricane.
were had sex with cousin, what's his name?
His name.
No. With cousin so and so's bride to be.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that was Joey Lauren Adams.
Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Joey Lauren Adams, that's right.
Whoa.
yeah. She was getting married to this big fucking guy
That's
that was
right.
a cousin, and
Mhm.
she ended up on the eve of the wedding or a day or two before. She ended up having sex with Bud,
That's
and then
right.
they had to reconcile it. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a
Great.
tough one for me too. She was smoking. My God, that was difficult. You know, these things are, you know, you're a young guy. It's like, you know, and all of a sudden you're surrounded by beautiful women all the time, not just even the characters that they had my
Right.
character get with, but all the, you know, we'd have episodes, several episodes where they'd go to the strip club. So consequently, you got like 10 strippers there. Some are
Yeah.
just actresses, but others are, that's what they do for a living, and they're doing the thing. And now that was pretty intense, like for a young guy, you know.
So, how old were you when you started on the show?
I was just turning 13.
So, was your first girlfriend or your first like kiss or whatever, was that from somebody you met on the show?
No, my first kiss, and this is out there because she talked about it on like social media or a podcast, was an actress another girl I was just fucking madly in love with was Stacy Keenan. Do you remember the actress Stacy Keenan? She was on a show called My Two Dads with
Okay.
what was the comedian Paul
Riser.
Reiser. There you go.
Yeah.
It was Paul Reiser
I
and another
remember that show.
Oh,
Yeah,
right, right.
yeah, a
Yeah.
young girl.
It was a
And
great show.
yeah, it was a good show, exactly.
Yeah.
And she was great. And you would meet at these like back then they would have these like Teen Beat, Tiger Beat, Bop, these magazines. They would throw these parties so they could get all the photographs and and they were fun for us. We have a blast. And I met her and yeah, she was my first love, but she ended up breaking my heart later on. She like met a much badder, cooler motherfucker than I was. And but she was my first kiss. But later on, I didn't know how in love with me she was until she was on a podcast not long ago, and she's like, "I was so in love with him. He was so," and like I didn't even know this, so it was yeah.
So most of your early girlfriends were probably in the business then. Like you didn't go to traditional school, I would guess.
No, I didn't, but I did date. So my first real girlfriend was a girl I met through another actress, but she wasn't an actress. She was going to high school. She was a high school. She was a cheerleader, and she was a cheerleader down in Orange County, right behind the orange curtain, at this high school with a lot of jocks and white folks that were just I don't know how to explain it really, but anyway, it was kind of not my world. And
Yeah.
it was, I lived in Hollywood. And so I met this girl. So she was a cheerleader, as I mentioned, and all the jocks were like, hot for her. And she started dating me. That was a big fucking issue for them, man. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they wanted my head. It was like
Yeah.
wherever he is, find him, bring him, it was that type of thing. And anyway, I had to go down there with some actual hoods one time just because I was like tired of getting fucked
Yeah.
with by these like wannabe tough guy jocks who were trying to like humiliate me in front of my girlfriend. So I finally took some thugs down there, and that's the last time they said another fucking word to me as long as I went down there. The last time.
So you never had a prom.
No, I went to her prom, and that was uncomfortable
Did?
to say the least.
Wow.
Yeah. But that was after my friends went for a visit there.
Right. Right.
So I was able to go to the prom and not get jumped.
Yeah. Right.
So it was a kind of like a cool little like, okay, I won this
Yeah.
beat,
Yeah.
my friends are badder than your friends, type thing.
Grandmaster
Yeah,
B.
my ex-girlfriend, she grew up in Dorchester in Boston, like South Boston, and very tough chick. Like father was a bookie for Whitey Bulger,
Oh,
and
shit.
one of her neighbors were the Wahlbergs, from New Kids on the Block.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
Marky was a kid in the neighborhood who was, young, and he was actually kind of scrawny growing up, and so like he got beat up by these two guys at the park. They lived in a neighborhood called Savin Hill. They used to call it Stab and Kill. And so when he made it, he pulled up to that park one day in a limo with a couple of his goons, and they went down to the playground and they beat the shit out of these two guys. And then he got back in his limo and he pulled away.
I get it, man. I get it because
That's a
when you have that fame, it works great in many, many ways. People who can, who are mature enough to handle it, but some guys who, you're dating one of their women from their school. They didn't like that at all. But like I said, I luckily got the last laugh on that, thank God.
Right.
But I do want to, because I don't know how long we have, Greg. So I'd love to like open up the floor a little bit if you don't mind talking to a few people who might have some questions for either myself or you or Richard or even Darren or even maybe Brian.
They don't want to talk to me.
Lurking in the window back there, you weirdo.
Yeah, we got a couple. Well, not that guy. Hold on, not.
I call Brian. Brian's the jizz, like of the Wu-Tang Clan. He's the jizza. He's the genius behind this. If it wasn't for him, this whole platform would be in the trash. And then there's Darren, who's my partner in crime here. So we have a strong.
You don't want me in charge of the tech. I can make cool AI videos, but that's it. All right, yeah, let's take some callers. Let's see who we got, and raise your hand if you have a question for our guy Greg, Richard.
Let's
David,
get Charlie down here.
No, you don't want me. Let's see what you guys got. Anybody? Oh, here we go. We got a Charlie. Charlie's back.
Charlie.
always back. Always, as long as the cash is flowing and I can afford this, I'm back.
Does that say six? Does that say Charlie O or Charlie six touch? Oh, it's Charlie O TDs.
0 touchdowns in a single game.
Oh, 0 touchdowns in a single game. All right.
Unlike Ed, unlike Al, I never played.
I'm right there with you, bro.
Every time you've had a great shirt, every time you called into the show, I love it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
What's this one say?
It's the evening with the Bundys in Hollywood.
Oh, were you there that night?
Yeah, I was there at the Will Turn. Yep.
Oh, awesome, man. Yeah, I think we talked about this, but it goes in one ear, right out the other. I'm 52.
Yeah, it was great time, great night. Great time, great night. It was funny. The crowd popped almost as large for Richard German as they did for you all.
Fuck no, they didn't. Don't blow smoke here, man. No, they really did. That was
wrote
cool.
Some great stuff. We got to give him credit. Well, we've obviously talked about how your love of hip hop is kind of what inspired the Grandmaster B character. How did they approach you about this? Did they give you a heads up? Did you find out at the table read that week for this episode? And then I guess who came up with the name Grandmaster B?
So I can only touch a little bit on the memory because now I just realized, because of what Richard said earlier, he actually wasn't there that season. So I think it's kind of up to my memory. I think they approached me about it and were like, we'd like to kind of incorporate a little bit of what you're doing. I think they came up with the Grandmaster B based on Bud. There's a great line in it that I just saw today where she says, "What does the B stand for?" He says, "Brother of an idiot," which I got a laugh out of that. But I think everybody in those days, you had Grandmaster Kaz, Grandmaster Flash. You had so many Grandmaster, and so I think it was just sort of a sign of the times, the early 90s, where a lot of cats were calling themselves that. I do know that they actually, somebody wrote that rap, because it wasn't me. But looking back at it, I always went, oh man, I wish I had just wrote the little bar, but it wasn't that bad of whoever wrote it did a pretty good job from the character's point of view, I thought. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love that you have your list.
Oh yeah.
He comes prepared. I love it. What else you got?
I guess this would be a little deep dive. I think this was obviously the debut of Grandmaster B. I think this might have been the first time you brought up that you had a rubber woman. There was the scene when Al said he was looking around upstairs, and you said you didn't find a rubber doll, did you?
Yeah, I remember that. Which it goes further to one of the episodes later in the seasons where the girl we were just talking about, Juliet Teblack, who plays Marcy's niece, and we're having sort of this little romantic scene in the bedroom kind of, and then all of a sudden you hear and you see the rubber doll's arm sort of waving, and I kick it under the bed.
Damn,
ISIS. Remember it was before ISIS was ISIS. It was before ISIS was like a terror group.
Yeah.
That was the name of that doll. I've actually had people hit me up on social media going, "Remember when ISIS was just a rubber doll?" And I'm like, "Yep, I remember."
Awesome. I guess the last one I've got for you is the writers they seem to have a field day with your personal life. They hit on the acne, they hit on being a fan of hip hop, brought in the rubber woman. Kind of what was.
How do you know I had a rubber woman in real life and I was inspiration for that? God damn it.
So what would have been the most embarrassing out of all of that? To have to portray every week.
Well, you know what they didn't hit on was short jokes, really, because Kelly would call me a troll a lot. That was kind of like, she'd call me a troll a lot, but they never hit on short jokes much. And it's probably because I was still young and they probably thought I was going to have a spurt at some time that never came. So I think if the show had kept going, there would have been some good short jokes, but I think again, you're young, you're going through adolescence, you're already awkward. Like I said, I wasn't raised inside of that where you grow up with a lot of confidence. I had a lot of insecurities. And so, when Kelly would call me ugly or make fun of acne, I would take a lot of that personally. And I had to sort of go, okay, but looking back, it's like, oh man, these were great, brother, sister, quips that people loved and they were getting a kick out of. But when you're that young in your teenage years, you can't help but take some of that personal. It's just kind of how it hits you.
Yeah, I guess that's what made it really, really work on screen. So
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you for your time. I'll step back and let some other people chime in.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks for
guys.
coming back.
And by the way, he's never watched an episode of Ellen, Greg, just so you know. I just want to make that clear.
True
So
story.
you're not a lesbian from the Midwest?
You-
Oh man. Well, you know, Amanda Burse, who played Marcy on our show, the neighbor that I spoke of, was actually what Richard, didn't she come out even before Ellen?
Yeah, I believe she did come out before Ellen, and she talks about this, how the cast and everyone was so supportive, when she came out. Yeah.
Except for the part in the interview that's now gone viral, where Ed talks about how everyone was invited to the wedding except for him and me.
And you, David.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And we patched that one up.
Oh man, it's funny. If you ever, there's a great clip of him being interviewed by the TV Academy. I can't remember who's interviewing. It's a great in-depth interview, but he goes on for about 5 or 10 minutes on this subject.
Well,
And watching it in hindsight as to where we sort of are as a society now, it gets funnier and funnier as he digs himself deeper and deeper into
the gist of it is, and I can't do Ed any justice, but she confronts him and she says, the reason you weren't invited, I just thought that I don't know who her partner's name was, but when, let's say, Julie and I came down the aisle.
Ed uses the name Becky, by the way, and I don't think that was her name, just so you know.
In matching white tuxedos, that you wouldn't help but cracking up. And then Ed, at that moment, literally cracks up. And he says, you're right. That is so funny. You were right in not asking me to come.
He says, Amanda, what's funny about two grown women walking to the altar in he just keeps digging himself deeper into this hole.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
it's kind of a famous beef. It's the only beef that we had that went public on this show. Like, we really did, for people to get along for 11 seasons, you are a family at that point and shit happens. But I got to tell you, like, I've heard Ed and Katie both say it, they've worked a tremendous amount since then on many shows and movies. And they still say they've never before or since had a job quite like this, where it was so easygoing. That tone was set from Ron Levitt and Michael Moy on down, where it was just easygoing. We didn't over rehearse. We didn't. I don't know. It was just a love on that set. The only real sort of beef was with Ed and Amanda in the later seasons.
Huh. So I see we have a guest here. We have another Grand Master sitting on the couch, by the way. Didn't mean to ignore you this whole time. And by the way, I know Greg had a previous engagement at 7. Greg, if you need to bounce, it's all good. I appreciate your time and being here.
I had such a blast. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, thank you, Greg. Before he goes, Grandmaster, was your question for me or for Greg?
For you.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, Greg.
All right, later on, guys.
Hey, man, thanks so much. I hope to see you soon, and I love what you do, man. You're great at what you do. So thanks for joining us.
You're the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All right,
you.
take care.
Thank you.
Watch that pilot now.
Oh no, we got rid of Grand Master though.
Got him back.
He took off with Greg.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's. There he is. Okay, Grand Master, the other Grand Master. How you doing, buddy?
You see me? Okay.
What's up,
It's
brother?
funny you said that about the interview with Ed, because I watched that thing a million times. It gets funnier every time. Especially because everybody always says too. If you read the comments, all like the Bundy fans are like, go to they have like the minute and the second of when he goes full Al Bundy, and it's when he goes, Amanda, why would I? Well, it is fucking funny, and I'm not the only one that thinks so. And you see him do the whole Bundy comes out for that. It is fucking funny.
Yeah, it's
You're definitely right.
Interview.
Like I watched that interview a couple times. It's great.
Me too. Trust me.
I actually thought there was some funny. I wrote down Amadeus Bundy, the history of the Bundys in this one. Amadeus Bundy was he was the one that the Alexander Graham Bell patented the telephone, and then he tried to patent it by shouting as a cheaper alternative.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
But my question was, did you choose like the Raiders outfit? Like the Raiders, was that a choice? Or?
I think I did have input on that. And again, back to Marty Squires, who was our costume designer on the show for the entire run and who helped create the look of all these characters. We lost her last week, unfortunately. But she, we being from LA and the whole gangster thing at that time, no matter I won't say no matter what city, but for a lot of rappers, even across the country that weren't from LA, the Raiders gear was kind of like the gangster gear. Like if you were gonna go gangster, you went Raiders, and the emblem was dope. The colors, it just looked, and so it was a sort of a natural thing. And I'm glad because obviously in real life, I'm not a Chicago guy. I'm an LA born and bred kid, and so it was cool at that time. The LA Raiders. I was like, hell yeah, let's rock with this.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Also, do you know who you killed in New York? I just wondered if you ever wondered who it was.
I haven't, but it would be cool to know. Maybe it was like
another rival rapper, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it was like uptown in Harlem at like Rayo's Italian Eatery, and I shot somebody across the table there.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's all I would say. It's good seeing you guys.
Hey man, we appreciate all your posts. Love the stuff you post.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Glad you're sort of like one of the founding sort of first members we have, and your input is not seen, and we love what you do. So
I met you like I said 20 years ago, like Chiller Theater. I think it's the first time I remember. It was like 15, something like that. It was a while ago, but
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Are you going to be out in Buffalo, you said?
I was thinking about doing that one. I was thinking about making the trip. It's about 6 hours from me. I'm in Pennsylvania, but it might be worth it because I've met all three of you, but never all at the same time.
Yeah, we'll be there, man.
But, definitely.
Maybe I'll see you. I know that's a long trek, so but if
I might do it though. I've done longer for that stuff though.
All right, brother.
All right, man. See you.
All right, thanks again. All right, we got another one. We got Steve. Let's bring Steve on the couch.
Yeah, Steve Rhodes fan. Yeah.
What's up there, Steve? Hey, Steve, there you are.
You're upstaging me, Steve. Jesus.
I know how I'm doing that. I'm not in charge of that. But anyway, I mentioned Springfield a few months ago. I was part of the Married with Children podcast in the latter years. And I had a theory, and I have to ask this, both of you and Richard. When they called you Grandmaster B, I could not help think, when I got a little bit older and thought about it, does that stand for masturbation?
It could, right?
It could.
I don't think
the
that
references
was
to
the
Grand masturbator.
Yeah.
When Amber is massaging you, or you're massaging her, she says your right hand seems really strong.
Yeah.
Well,
Christina does call you bushwhacker a little later on, so I don't know.
By the way, I think that's Bushwhacker B in the bushes behind you.
I think that's the real bush. Will the real Bushwhacker B please stand up? There he is.
Yeah. Back on the Grandmaster thing, I know I'm friends with Grandmaster Kaz. He was probably one of the first to use Grandmaster. You got Grandmaster Flash, and so I mean the Grandmaster name has been around early stages of hip hop. So I'm sure that's why they brought it in.
I mean, you even had guys using Grand Wizard, which I thought was always odd, but Grand Wizard Theodore and some of these guys, they kind of flipped the script on that, which, but anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying, and one of my all-time favorite episodes was when you were caught masturbating in the library with Miss Hardaway. Yeah, that one just cracks me up to no end. I did have another question though.
Well, she was an actress that was around a lot. That actor who played the librarian. She made her rounds. I don't remember her name. Do you remember her, Richard? She was
she was great.
Or Archer.
What's that? What'd you say?
I thought it was Beverly Archer.
Oh, it might have been.
Yeah. She was one of my favorite recurring characters, even though she was only in it twice. She was the founder of the Virgin Hotline, and then the librarian. and
Oh,
she
yeah,
confessed her
River
love to
Island.
you.
Yeah,
Another
because
strong David show.
I remember being a fan of hers when she came, and it wasn't like I knew her, like I couldn't pinpoint exactly what she had done, but I'm like, oh my God, I've seen this woman in like so many different little character roles, you know?
She was mostly in oh God, the Vicki Lawrence show, Mama's Family.
Yeah.
She was in
Oh,
that and Major Dad.
who'd she play in Mama's Family?
God, I can't remember the name. I just would catch him now and then. I wasn't an avid fan, but I know,
That's probably where I knew her from then. Oh yeah,
yeah,
shit, I forgot about that. That's crazy.
yeah. But I had one last question. Do you kind of wish they would have done the Grandmaster B stuff maybe into season 7 or 8, or do you think it would have lost its flavor by then?
Well, you probably know better than me because someone was asking kind of did it die out? Like was it just kind of a season 6 thing or did they ever bring it back throughout?
Rock said it
Yeah,
was season 6.
yeah, because it didn't go
Oh,
beyond that. And I was wondering,
oh.
do you think, do you kind of wish they had gone further?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think that would have been fun to bring it, j just occasionally back for whatever sort of reason Bud needed to bring it back, like to whatever he needed to use it for, whether it to be to meet girls or get shit done or make a deal or something like that.
yeah,
I think a
okay.
cool spin-off idea, if we could ever do a spin-off, would be, Bud trying to run a record empire, run a label, um, and he has to sort of use that. There's something in there, where he's dealing with all these hip hop artists and also trying to be one at the same time. I don't know. There's
Will
something
be
funny.
good.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I think it
I
would be
would
fun.
watch
Richard,
that.
let's get on that immediately.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I had to ask. But
Thank
Well,
you, my
thanks for
friend.
coming
Thanks for
back,
joining
Steve.
us.
We appreciate you coming on the show.
There's Kristen. Oh my God, she
Well,
Well, we
made
got to
it
get Kristen
here.
on the couch.
Hi.
Hey,
You?
she's in Germany, by the way, everybody.
Uh,
What
She
is it,
got
3 in the morning there?
yeah, 4 now.
4. My
4.
gosh. How do you do
wow.
it?
How did you sneak away from your husband and get loud enough to sort of be able to be on the podcast? I know because at 4 a.m. when I have to do shit, even if I have to like grab something to drink or a snack, I'm like tiptoeing around because I don't want to wake up the
Yeah.
family
Yeah. So I have to talk
quietly.
quietly. Yeah.
All right, fair.
Okay. So I have no question. I only want to say hi, and I want to thank you to start this. And as a long-time fan, it's amazing how to see how the circle goes. So for me, it started again with the book that Richard wrote. I
Mhm.
found it and I ordered it 2 years ago, I
Mm.
think. And yeah, then the reunion and now the club. And yeah, I want to thank you. That's all I have to
Oh,
say.
let me
Yeah.
thank you, by the way. I can speak for Brian and Darren. We love having you a part of the community. You're a huge part of the community and the things you post and your story that I read about you, your journey. I'm sorry, what city are you in again?
Berlin.
You're in Berlin. For,
Yeah.
deciding to come out and like making that trek. Had you been to Los Angeles before?
No,
No. Have
I've
you been to the
never.
States?
Yes, one time, but it was Florida with my husband. We
We don't
made it.
count Florida. It's fine.
Yeah.
Florida doesn't count. But you came to LA and she made this trek, man, on her own to come to this reunion, and she writes sort of a 3-piece post about it, which I really enjoyed reading, and so we really like that you're a member here. We love what you post, and I'm so glad
Thank
you got
you.
up at 3 in the morning to be here. Tell your husband we apologize if we interrupted his sleep, and yeah,
I think he sleeps better without me.
probably, yeah. Like my wife, I have my own little studio down here, like my own little mini apartment. So I'm sure she loves me down here more than she wants me in the bed. I snore too, so.
Well, you might need a hammer and like build your own.
Hey, well played, well
Yeah, I
played.
agree. You might want to get a hammer.
Yours isn't twinkling though, with those cool effects that we had in the early '90s. Yeah.
Kristen, you're the best. I really do appreciate seeing all your posts and everything, as David was saying,
you.
and the energy. I feel it, and I wish every member would be as active as you are, because you're crushing it. So keep coming back and keep posting. We love it.
I know I'm going to see you on June 11th when Ed is here, right?
Yes, but I think I can't say no, nothing.
Why? You're too embarrassed to talk with Ed?
Yes.
Oh, come on. Well, if you work up the courage, we'd love to have you comment. I'm sure he'd love to hear from you, because he's only been on, regular podcasts. I don't think he's done anything like this where it's interactive. People are, wherever they are on the planet. And I think he'd get a kick out of it if you feel up to it. No pressure though, but lots of pressure, but no pressure.
I think we'll get you on the show if you come back. I love it.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right.
I'm a little bit shy, and my English is, at 3 o'clock in the morning, my English is not so
It
well.
sounds great, by the way.
Sounds great.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds really great. No, really, it does. Sounds
Better than
perfect.
David's.
Way better than mine. Definitely better than Brian's back there. That's why we keep lurking in the window.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back again, and we'll get some more callers to come sit on the couch. Or
Thank you, Kristen. Nice to see you.
I have one question for David. I'm so curious. What episode are you going to have people watch before Ed comes on?
Well, I already know, because one of the reasons, because I reached out to him, and we were debating on should we save Ed for down the road, or should we have him now? And we were like, Darren and I talked about it, and we said, let's just have him come on. Let's launch this thing and have Al Bundy. Let's have Ed. So, when I approached him about it, he goes, "Oh, Dave, I'm a little podcasted out here. I've been doing them." I said, "I understand." I said, "Ours is," and I explained our platform, and I knew this was going to be the clincher. I said, "And by the way, you get to pick the episode that you want everybody to watch." And we're going to talk about that episode. He jumped right in. He goes, "Oh, the Godfather episode."
Okay, there you go.
So that's the one we're doing, which, by the way, I haven't watched in forever. I can't wait to watch it. Yeah. Were
Richard,
you there that year?
Was that
No,
your
I
episode?
don't think I was. No.
Oh, man.
I'll have to check, but I'll definitely watch the episode. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that. So yeah, that's the one he wanted to. It's like he didn't even flinch. He just went right for that episode, which is interesting because I don't know that I've ever really talked to him about that episode. But so I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. I love that Ed's going to be here. It's so great. And I hope you're going to be here, Richard, on the 11th.
Yeah. No, I'll be glad to be here.
Awesome.
That's gonna be great. So
Sorry,
we got
my man.
Norman back.
Norman Jablonski, another amazing member of the community.
We love our regulars.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
A question for either Rich or David on this one. If you can recall, were there any extras or anybody in the show that was a real problem near tape night or dress rehearsal or time for taping where you said, "Uh-oh, this is a mistake. We need to replace him, but it's too late." Replace him or her? Was there anybody that you can recall?
Well, I can think of some. I can think of someone, but I'm going to let Richard go first.
Well, once you shoot the show on show night, you let the audience go, and then you work with the actors. If they screwed something up, or if there was just one detail, it's real important. It's called pickups.
Yeah.
So we had a bunch of. It was one of the sports themed shows, and we had Ernie Banks, and he actually fashioned himself a little costume or something where he sneaked out, and so we couldn't get any pickups. He sneaked out after the show, but before the pickups.
Oh wow!
So that was a pain in the ass.
Oh shit! I don't remember that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What a legend!
Do you remember, David?
I remember him having on the show, but I don't remember him sneaking out. And I don't remember.
No, but do you remember other extras or whatever that were problems?
I do. Well, I mean, the two that come to mind are, Sam Kinison, who we've discussed, who was tremendous on the show. The final product was great. Him playing that angel. It was a great two-parter episode, and that was so much fun. But with that came Sam Kinison shenanigans, which were steeped in drugs and alcohol at the end of the day. And he wasn't sober yet, and he missed a few days, which, you know, you don't do on one of the top rated sitcoms. And, you know, it was a really good move for him in his career to be on this show at the time. And so I think, you know, a lot of the higher ups, including maybe Richard, but I know Ron took issue with it, him not showing up, you know, a couple of days. That's a big hole in rehearsal time, especially when he had as much dialogue and stuff to do in those 2 episodes. He was very featured in them. So that was tough, but, you know, he tried to make up for it with catering the meals, you know, bringing in belly dancers. I mean, you know, he felt awful, but, you know, often, you know, so alcoholics and addicts, you know, almost can't help themselves, and they got to make up for it, which he did. And like I said, the final product was great. And then there was an actor early on who I don't really want to out so much, but he was a part of the show in the very beginning. But he does talk about this. I've seen him in interviews, you know, was also due to it, you know, addiction and like, you know, not being able to show up on time and as himself and be there and be a pro. And because of that, kind of screwed himself out of a job a little bit, as often happens. And I don't know, Richard, I don't know if it's, you know, I don't know if I should say his name right now. Some people may be able to.
No, that's okay. Don't. I know what you're saying.
I think I know what you're talking about too, David.
Yeah, but he talks about it here and there. So
yeah. I have an anecdote about someone, an extra. She was either an extra or she had a bit part. But we got complaints in the writers' room, you know, where they're off rehearsing and we're, you know, in another building and we're writing the episodes and we come together for run-throughs and so on. But we got complaints from Katie and from Christina and Amanda that there was this one, it's either an extra or a bit part, and she was a Playboy playmate, and that she was flashing everybody on the set.
She was. I know
That
exactly.
she was flashing all over them, and it was distracting, and they thought it was unprofessional, and so on and so forth. So here we are, these grown men who are really kids at heart because we're doing this. And so we have to call her in to an office and we say, look, whatever her name is, you know, we love you. We think you're doing a great job, but, you know, we have to run this professional set and you got to stop flashing everybody. So she said, and she's standing right next to the door. She says, it was almost like she was tearing up that we were telling her that she couldn't do this. And she says, okay, but is it okay? Is it okay if I just flash you guys? And she goes, boom, and she flashes us and she exits like the best exit that you can imagine.
Genius.
It was so funny. I can't remember her name.
I know who it was. It was Terry Weigel.
Okay, I'll take your word.
Who eventually became a porn star later on.
Right.
Her life she kind of devolved into other addictions, and she became a porn star.
I think you guys turned her out, man.
Well, she was doing this. She was purposely because she would be in the shoe store. She'd be in some shoe store scenes, and she purposely would not wear fucking panties. And, you know, she was doing a Sharon Stone half the time. And, you know, some of the women took issue with it. And yeah, it was kind of a deal. And I was only a kid at the time. I was at that time 16, 17. And I think my mom had an issue with it as well. Or maybe I was only 15.
You kept dropping your change on the floor, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe her first casting couch was the Bundy couch.
Yeah.
I can't imagine any other show would have this serious conversation with this woman. And then she topped it with a joke. You know,
that's pretty genius.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Well,
that's a good question.
And I just wanted one more thought on that as something I'm going to post. I actually sent Darren and Brian the photo of it. So there's an episode where Al is on the cover of like Playgirl or something. I don't know if they just did mine as an aside or if it's part of the episode, but within that cover, the Playgirl cover, I'm surrounded by playmates, and one of them, when we're going to post this on the site like this week, is Terry Weigel is one of the girls
Okay.
in that show.
And David was shirtless on that
I'm
shoot.
shirtless. More importantly, I'm flashing everybody.
You
Okay.
flash your boobs.
All right. Anyway.
That episode was
That's a great
Mr.
question.
Empty Pants.
Mr.
Yeah.
Empty Pants was the episode.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
One more quick question, if I can. Any memories that you remember of any fans or anybody in the audience who just did something crazy during dress or during the actual taping? That
Well,
was
I
just
remember one guy who they ended up carrying him out. We taped the show, and Christina had a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of they'd see her on this show, and she played this very sexual, and she's a gorgeous girl, and they would come to the set now all of a sudden, as an audience member. And there was one guy who basically said, "I'm not leaving until I see Christina."
Wow.
And he just kept standing there. And so finally they had to have security literally carry this guy out, pick him up and physically carry him out, which, as what anybody spooked Christina to no end, right? I mean, it's a bit scary. So I remember that being one thing. And then just, and Richard and I have touched on this in previous episodes, people would drink and come to the set, especially the second show, because we would do an early sort of dress rehearsal, which we would shoot, but then we would go to lunch and we'd do like what we called the main show, but they would often use parts of both of those shows in the final product.
Yeah.
The first audience was always much tamer and would sort of laugh in the appropriate places and for as long as they were kind of supposed to. But you'd get that second audience, man, and the entrances alone, oh, fuck yeah, and all this stuff that would go on for, and after a while, I know with Ed especially, it started to drive him a little bananas toward the end.
Yeah, we had to like reshoot an entrance and tell people to calm down, or else we wouldn't have been able to use it because it was just too over the top and it was taking too much time out of the show. We have a limited number of minutes.
Yeah.
You guys probably wondered why anybody would use a laugh track when, the audience for you guys, they were going crazy every time.
Yeah. But honestly, it's a good problem to have in a way. I mean, I feel bad for Christina in that regard, but in general, the raucousness, it means that it's a raucous show. And it's funny because when I went to the Wiltern, that's what I experienced in the audience that was there for you live. Was a lot of that kind of over the top raucousness.
That crowd was crazy that night when you guys played that video at the very beginning.
Yeah,
I mean the crowd went nuts. I love
it brought me right back to a Married with Children taping. Like you said, Richard, it was the same energy. I remember one time though, and maybe we'll touch on this with Ed if I'll feel it out. But there was one night. This is toward the end, like 10th or 11th season. And sometimes you guys would write these very long speeches for him that would go on a page and a half, and that's a lot of dialogue. And I remember one night he was having a tough time with one of the speeches, and he kept getting caught up at the same spot over and over, and I could tell he was getting frustrated as one would. And I remember some drunk guy from the audience yelled down, "Oh, it's okay, Al." And I remember Ed, and by the way, now he's already going toward a black belt in fucking Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
And he looks up at the guy, he goes, "You want to go a couple rounds, motherfucker?" And the whole audience went, "Oh!" It was a funny moment.
Did Ed pull out of it at that point? Did he get back into
He got through it. He got through it eventually.
I would think that would help.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember like it was yesterday. You want to go a couple rounds, motherfucker? And he didn't say it angry. He just kind of said it under his breath, but loud enough for him to hear. It was good.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, guys. I see Will wants to ask a question, so I appreciate it, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Good to see you, Norman. And
I have a quick question.
Again, we love your posts as well, man. We love.
And
I love
the shirt.
Jablonski, by the way, is like it's a fan when they pick Jablonski, because one of my favorite moments in all of the show is when Ted, when he's that's in the Sam Kinison episode, and he's seeing how his life would be how great everybody's life would have been without him. And when we do that Whoa Jablonski and you cut to Ed and he goes, Whoa Jablonski. It's such a great moment. And only like, not a huge percentage of fans remember that moment. And when people ask me on social media, sometimes they'll be like, can I get a Will Bundy? I'll often write back Will Jablonski. And sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't.
Norman does.
Hey guys, I got a quick question. So I know you weren't doing too many of your own stunts or, too many stunts on the show. Maybe you were, but did anybody get, really hurt on the set ever?
Not that I remember, Richard.
No, I can't think of anyone.
Yeah, we had a great stunt coordinator, a guy named why can't I think of his name right now? Frank Lloyd.
Wasn't he in the episode that we just saw? Wasn't he part of the guys who were? Yeah, he was
exactly.
Like a red sweater or something like that.
What was the biggest kind of stunt you had to do?
Well, I mean, they use so many. Like I remember, for instance, there was a great, but no, I didn't have to do many at all because they used like stunt dummies. I remember the episode where we were in the movie theater, and we had gone to the movie theater, and I keep trying to hit on, I think, different women. I go up and I sit next to them, and they cut away, and you see me flying across the theater. And I remember they used this stunt guy, kind of some same size as me, short guy, great stuntman, and I don't know how they launched him, but they were launching him with something, and he was like flying across the seats. But no, I didn't really ever have to. They either use stuntmen or dummies. I mean, Ed had a lot of falls from the roof with life-size, life-weighted dummies.
Lasbird, we got Lasbird back on the couch.
What's up, bro?
Laz?
Hey, Dave. It's Adam here.
Hey, man. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me again. So I watched the episode this morning, and yeah, I was laughing. There's a lot of funny lines from it.
Mm-hmm.
The one that really got me was at the beginning, I think when maybe Kelly said Ghostbuster Bee, it looked like Katie was genuinely laughing, like almost caught off guard with her reaction to it.
Oh, that's funny.
That's at least how I took it.
Well, either she did, or she's just a great friggin' actress who could pull that off,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I have two questions. One goes to, in that scene when you first introduced the character, you're wearing a black cap, but it seems generic. It wasn't a Raiders cap, unless I saw that.
Interesting. I don't remember, but I believe that the Raiders emblem was on the parka, right?
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe they didn't want to pay whatever the licensing was, but it was on the jacket. So I don't know what the derivation of
They
that.
should be so fucking lucky. Sorry.
Oh, absolutely. When you were with the girl later in the episode, it was the Raiders hat, but it seemed when you first did the introduction, it was just generic black, unless somebody else saw it differently. But that at least caught my eye.
I'll have to take a closer look at that. I don't know.
Okay. And then my next question is, there was a lot of different, like Ghostbuster Bee, Corchester Bee. I mean, the list goes on and on. What was your favorite that they would call you, that you would like giggle and like lose yourself for a second, have to do the line over?
I wish I could remember all of them. There's a great string, and I was saying in the beginning of the show, you can YouTube it. Some fan put together this great, like, it's every single one that they've ever gotten wrong throughout that season or whatever it was. And it lasts for it goes on for like a minute and a half straight of just, and there's so many good ones in there, but oh man, there's Grandma Bee is always funny. Godmother Bee. I can't think of the great ones off the top of my head, but if you search that out, and I was saying I use it as my DJ intro, I put like a beat under it, and it goes on for like a minute and a half. I just keep looping this beat.
We played it in the Zoom room, by the way. So like before while you guys were waiting, I don't know if you clicked play on the video, but it was there.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So it's in there. But
put that YouTube video up on the website. So if you go to bundyclub.com/zoom4, it's the post for this this watch party, and I put the one video that you're talking about that has like the compilation of all the different sayings, like
That's right.
grasshopper.
That's right.
No, that's awesome. Thank you. Looking
Where are you
forward-
on the map again?
Oh, I'm in Westchester County, north of the city.
Okay.
It's 7 hours to Buffalo, and it'd be tough for me to take my daughter while my wife is working to be like,
Yeah,
hey,
it's not gonna fly. How old is she?
she's 8.
Okay.
I'm putting her to bed during the first hour of these calls, and then once she's asleep, I finally get out of her bedroom and I move to my room.
I know the move, bro. I'm right there with you, man. My daughter, like, she's 10 and she doesn't like to fall asleep unless I'm hanging out in the room, and I love it. My son's there too. It's like the greatest time of the day, but
I wish I could not be in there anymore, like just grow out of it. But I hear you. She falls asleep to her iPad, but no, I appreciate that. One day I will, and I'll look back on it. So we'll see.
exactly. Well, there's new study because the whole myth, or the sort of the psychology behind it for so long was like that it's you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're not, lack of a better term, you're not helping your children by letting them sleep, whatever it is. But now they're saying that it's actually better for them. Like all of that stuff is actually beneficial later in life. So who knows? They never know what they're talking about, right?
They'll have another study in 5 years or 10.
Yeah.
Just enjoy every minute. It goes
Having
really
kids
fast.
is bad for you, they'll say.
Yeah, don't do it.
And what I can go on and on, but one thing I'll just add, at the beginning of the call or the show, you go into like the minutes of the baby meeting, and you continue during a lot of episodes of having the minutes of the No Man meeting.
Yeah.
I'm on a board of my lake club right here, and they always at the beginning of the meeting go, all right, we're going to go over the meeting minutes. And I just want to repeat like Jefferson Darcy in my head, like 801, 802, 803.
That's funny. Well, that's the episode we just talked about. I think when we had the guys. We had.
Oh yeah.
By the way, they didn't make an appearance tonight, huh?
Shame.
Bob Rooney and EE and those guys.
Yeah.
Shame on them.
I think I saw Ed Bell was in the
I
room.
saw Ed Bell too, up
Yeah, I
in
think
the
he's-
upper row.
Yeah.
Unless
All
that
right,
was
guys.
someone.
He's
No,
not
I
here.
saw Ed. He was here. I don't know if he's
That's a
still here.
drop.
He was.
It's kind of late on the East Coast for him,
Yeah, it's late for me also.
All right, my friend. Well, thanks for joining us, man. We love having you on. Again, you're another you post great things.
We
and-
love the regulars. It's great.
Yeah, we
Thank
do.
you.
We do.
Gonna post in the preparation for Ed, I'll post a bunch of pictures of me doing the Al Bundy pose all over the world.
Love it. Love it.
Oh, look who snuck in.
Hey,
We got
how
another
you
one.
doing?
He's back. What's up, brother?
Hey, Darren, Brian, you guys are doing a great job. I'm having a blast on the site. I know I probably post too much, but
Never.
it's a great time.
We love it. Keep doing it.
So I was going to ask about that character or the actor Frank Lloyd. He was in this episode, and I guess he's been in. Did he play different characters in different episodes?
Yeah.
Okay. I think he was in the movie episode. Was he the stunt guy that flew across the?
He was coordinating. So he was there a lot, whether he was in the episode or not, because there was always some kind of weird stunts going on, and he was the stunt coordinator, so he was there on that set a lot. So the guy,
if there were stunts and there were a group of people in the scene, it was just easier to have him as an extra or even give him lines.
Okay.
And he's great. People got to really want to see him as well. Yeah.
he was this
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think-
weird recurring character as different character. He wasn't the same character. Yeah.
Exactly.
But and another guy that was on set a lot, and people in the sort of the jujitsu or grappling community, Gene LaBelle was there. I didn't realize sort of at the time what a fucking legend and an animal Gene LaBelle is. They'd call him the toughest man alive. And he was there, and he was in a few episodes. I don't know if you remember, Richard, which
Yeah.
episodes he actually was
I
in.
don't remember which ones, but I do remember he was there. And I know that Ron and Michael were huge wrestling fans.
Yeah, well, he was the
Obviously.
real fucking deal,
Yeah.
man. Gene LaBelle was no showman. He was tough as nails. You would shake his hand and you'd just be like, "Holy shit!"
Well, the whole Bundy name is King Kong Bundy. I mean,
Right. That's
so
right.
it's all derivative of wrestling.
That's right.
Yeah, I think there's an episode with Frank Lloyd where it's in the nudie bar and he gets like punched in the face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he was funny. He did the old armpit joke in this episode.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that and I watched the credits because now I'm old and you watch credits because that's what you do. But was that Levitt's wife? Was she an extra in that? Sharon?
In your episode, David, I think she was on
in
the
tonight's
couch.
episode.
And the one we're talking about, was she was in the room later on, the one that Al had,
I think
exactly.
so. Yeah, dark hair. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you something. Sharon's best recurring appearance on Married with Children was her tremendous laugh that made it through season after season. She was, and a lot of people thought it was a guy for a while because she has this very distinct laugh, and it made it into several of the episodes. And people would ask me, at conventions or wherever, they'd be like, "Who is the guy that's always there, like laughing?" And it was Sharon. She had this great laugh.
Yeah, and it pierced above other people's laugh.
It sure did.
You could always hear it.
It sure did. It was a
Yeah,
great.
I remember that. I remember that. And the last thing I just want to throw it out there that when that hammer falls on your head at the end, it's the perfect amount of time for you to not have a reaction and then start feeling the pain. And it reminds me of my 7-year-old, like, you know that the cry is going to come 7 seconds later. So very funny.
Oh man, thanks.
But thanks
brother.
guys. That's all I had. I'm
That's
loving
a great
this.
detail to remember.
Yeah. Thank you, man. That's awesome. I didn't even really pick up on that as much as you did. So thank you. And we'll see you in 2 weeks, I'm sure, right?
Absolutely. I'm gonna try to post up. I've been posting stuff from my Married with Children crate on the site, like the air fresheners and the when I dressed up as Al Bundy back like in 1992, I put
I remember that you showed me, and then was it on the air freshener? Was it you or was it Ed?
Well, the air freshener is the ones I bought, and it was me and my buddy in my car, and then I took a new picture with me with the same air freshener. I saved it.
That's right.
So,
well, again, like we said to the other guys and to you already, like we love having you as a part of the community. We love your posts,
great.
And we're going to continue to grow, and so we're glad you're like one of the founding guys here. So thank you.
Of course, I love it. It's been a great time. Get out of here, get someone else in here. Thank you.
Caesar is in the building. What's up, brother?
What's up, guys? Oh, look, I'm on the couch now.
Good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see you, Darren.
Darren's
Darren.
muted.
Yeah, Darren. I'll see you tomorrow. Referring to the episode, I do have a couple questions. First of all, I ran a little quick poll on Reddit about like who is the favorite Bud Bundy girlfriend, and because mine was a tough decision because I do love Jennifer a lot, Jennifer Lyons. She was great. That airhead, her remarks to Al when you guys were in the basement during the tornado episode. We're just absolutely smashing. She's great. She's always been good to talk to on a personal level. You keep in
contact with her on social media, or
I used to, but lately she got married or something, and like we don't talk too much anymore. But yeah, we used to. I used to always try to get her to come onto the cannabis side. I was like, come on, come on. Me, bro.
Of course. Okay.
That was the question really, was like, do you keep in contact with any of the old girlfriends? On Reddit, let me just say real quick, the absolute favorite seemed to be, of course, Juliet. Everybody seemed to love her as your girlfriend. there was a few goofy mentions too, like the librarian, the rubber woman, and you know what? I was really surprised though. Nobody mentioned the girl from the No Chicken No Check episode when you guys went to the drive-in, you and Christina, and you guys both had dates and you were fighting over the car. Her name was like, it starts with a V. It's like Vitari something. She was
I don't remember that.
she's been in a bunch of movies, but yeah, I loved her line like, "My loins ache for you," and you turn to Christina and you're like, "Get out."
That's awesome.
But yeah,
I forgot about that episode, man. I totally forgot about that episode.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that like would you say it's like, were we younger or was it more toward
No, you guys were in the later teens, early 20s years, you know, like yeah, you were at that age where you were fighting over a car, you know. Yeah, I think that was the first car
Oh,
you
there was
guys
like an insurance scam.
Yeah, because
that Al was trying to pull.
Yeah, because he had the cheapest car insurance you could find, where it was actually farm insurance for like a tractor, and as long as you had the chicken in the car, you were considered tractor.
Exactly. Otherwise,
yeah.
So no chicken, no check.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. I still have to I'd have to search it.
It's so great having Richard in the background. I love this. This is great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Richard.
Yeah, but do you keep in touch? Have you kept in touch with any of the girlfriends, or you know? I do remember that, like Bobby Phillips. You know, it's so funny. She was in Parker Lewis Can't Lose, and then you know she was in a bunch of the episodes with Married with Children. She was great too. Like as the girlfriend.
Her either. I can't. Bobby Phillips. I remember the name, but I don't remember. I'm looking.
She was the one from this episode.
Oh,
yeah.
She was. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Has she been in others, or was it just this one?
Yes, she was in the skydiving episode.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that was a fun episode.
That was a great episode.
Yeah.
That was definitely a Bud Bundy episode.
Maybe we should have we'll have her on down the road.
We should do that episode.
Yeah, because people love the skydiving one. That was a fun one.
Oh, she's great. You know, she'd be great to have on. Maybe even Jennifer too. You know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think we have a lot of guests to go through. We wanted to kind of hit people over the head with some heavy hitters right away.
Of course, perfect strategy.
And Ed and the No Ma'am guys, but we have a lot of other characters to get to. So we're excited about that, and I think that'll be a fun journey on this thing.
But you'll be back for Ed next week, in 2 weeks, right?
Of course. Absolutely. That's a dream. Like you said, it's a perfect strategy of hitting them over the head with the good stuff, getting them in.
Yeah.
I do have to
still
say
have Katie and Christina to get to, down the road.
The one character that I totally had forgotten about that had just come in real quick, who's one of like my absolute favorites, is Joe Bob Briggs. He was in the episode where Kelly was the Verminator. And he's the guy who, God, I can't remember his character's name, but he's running the pest control. And where she gets, I think you get sprayed with the poison.
I remember the Verminator well. I can't picture that actor though off the top of my head.
Oh, Joe Bob Briggs is great. He's a horror movie host, and he has been a horror movie critic for a long time. So he's one of those celebrity characters.
And we gotta get him.
Oh yeah, like he just actually ended he had the #1 show on Shudder, and it just ended. So like, yeah, man, now you guys got to get him on this. I'll see if I can. We'll talk, Darren, tomorrow.
Yeah, and by the way, you and Darren, I hope you're in contact, because like you can help us with like, that would be like for instance, who you just mentioned, like. We got to get some of these people on. We should
need Cheech.
Yeah, we need Cheech.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
Yes,
we're reaching out to Cheech. I don't know that we've heard back yet, but we're going to get him.
I'll put Darren on tomorrow.
Yeah, if you could hook that up, that would be great.
I'll get you in touch.
Dope.
That'd be great.
I know Cheech.
Thanks, guys.
We worked together several times on this, and I also did Nash Bridges. So I've always, known Cheech, and I've known him through the Adler family as well. So I'd love to catch up with him on the show. I think it'd be fun.
Did you ever meet his son, Joey?
No.
Okay. His son, Joey, lives up in the valley towards Darren's way. Like, I'll set it up.
All right, do it. Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to seeing you, and thanks for coming back.
Thanks, brother.
All right,
good talking to you.
Well, we got Adam next. All right.
We got about 10 more minutes, guys, and
and then we'll
get-
wrap it up.
yeah.
How's it going tonight?
What's up, Adam? How are you, my
been?
friend?
Doing well, doing well, doing well. Thanks for having me again. Good to see you guys.
Welcome back.
Thanks. A lot of the questions you asked, everyone else already asked, so I didn't really have too much, but I found the episode interesting. The thing that I noticed that was kind of odd to me was the first 6 minutes, Ed doesn't say a word in the episode, but he's sitting at the table. And that just seems so strange. Obviously, we know why, but it was so out of place to just have him not add a zinger. And, like it was just so strange to me. But,
I think it was sort of, in a way, I get that, but it was the perfect move of like how much he just doesn't want to have this happen right now, right?
Yeah,
Richard?
I agree. I think that he was speaking by not speaking.
That's
you
right.
know.
Right. It was just odd. And then I always thought one of the funniest things about the show is that even though, they tear down the room in the episode is when 1 week on the show, you'll have a completely finished garage for a setup. And then the next week, the car's in there and everything's just like taken out. And I always thought it was just funny to me when you try to think of the consistency. It's like, well, where did the room go? Now it's a garage this week. So
it's so funny.
Yeah, we took some liberties.
One of my favorite moments actually takes place in that garage. It's a later episode, and at some point maybe we can break it down. We're trying to tint the Dodge, Kelly and I.
The birthday episode for Al, right? No, it's the with the woman in the shoe store holding him hostage.
Okay, and why? So we end up Kelly and I try to tint the Dodge, and it's just the two of us in this. It's a pretty funny couple scenes, man. I even got a laugh watching that when she puts that thing on my fucking face and I can't get it off.
Oh yeah,
I think it's funny, and she thinks the windows were stolen because she couldn't figure out they were just rolled down into the car.
That's right. Oh man, great. Yeah.
But I wanted to bring up, and since Richard's on here too, and I know we don't have time to talk about this, so it's probably a whole other thing, but I made the post about the whole Russian series and that article I had noticed, and how Richard, it looks like you actually wrote new episodes of Married with Children, and it's just I've known about that show for a while. It's just something about that is fascinating, and what made me think about it was the Godfather episode, which we have to watch for the next one. I ironically remember seeing years ago, flipping through TV, and whatever Spanish Married with Children was on, that was the episode. That and I could pinpoint within a second. I'd be like, that's a Godfather episode of Married with Children.
Wow.
Which is kind of scary.
It's the Spanish-speaking version?
Yeah, it was on, on whatever. We're talking about 15 years ago, but I remember it was very visual. You could tell which episode it was, even though you didn't know a word of Spanish.
How was it working with the Russians, Richard?
I wrote a couple episodes, Kathy Green and I, and we only interacted with them on the phone. There wasn't even Zoom at the time. But I tell you what I did do, and this was obviously after the show wrapped. I went over to Israel, to Tel Aviv, and I was there for 3 months. Because our Married was really big in
gangbusters
in Israel, and in fact the Al Bundy guy, I mean, he was like a big movie star, and in that country, and so it was everywhere I went. I'd go out to dinner, I'd go to a bar, I'd go wherever, and when I told people I was working on Married with Children, it was like, here's a free drink. Here's it was just a legend in that country. Obviously Russia did a ton. In fact, Russia did so many episodes. Typically what they do is they have their own staff and they take an episode of Married with Children and then they Russianize it. They take out stuff that isn't culturally, like baseball cards or something like that. But and then some episodes they have to throw out completely because the references make no sense in that country. But then what happened was they went through all of the 11 seasons. They went through every episode that they could, and then they started writing new ones with their staff, and I worked with them a little bit too. But the show was so popular that they went through all 11 seasons, minus like 50 or 60 of them
That's
that they
crazy.
couldn't do. Yeah.
I only knew about the German version. I didn't really understand. I didn't really get the Russian version. My question is, do they have to pay rights to Sony or
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
all
And
of it?
writers and
Wow.
I'm not sure if they would have had to pay rights to you.
No, not to
Maybe
me.
they,
That's for sure.
yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
Wow.
David,
That's
is it weird to see like a rendition of you in another like language, another thing? Like, have you ever seen those be like, that person's like, they're not just playing Bud, they're playing you, because you made the character at that
Yeah.
point. Is it
Well,
weird to see that?
I hadn't really seen the weirdest thing. I'll tell you. This is a weird story. I'll just keep it brief. Ron Jeremy he did an episode of something, didn't he? Richard, wasn't he like?
I don't remember, but porn star Ron Jeremy, right?
Yeah, porn star Ron Jeremy. I think he was like maybe a background. I don't know, but anyway, I ended up. So they were doing a porn called Married with Hormones. That was the name
Okay.
of the show, and it was kind of like a wife swapping, the neighbors and the thing. And I ended up going to the set. I was probably like, I don't know, I was like 17, 18 years old. That was fucking weird. That was
Yeah.
just, and by the way, I've never been to a porn set after that. It was not what I had thought it might be. It was
Not like the nudie bar.
no.
How many were you at before that?
Well, no, I hadn't been, and it kind of ruined the whole thing for me. I was like, oh, it was weird. It was so weird.
You don't want to go with Ron Jeremy on a porn set. That'd be
No,
bad.
I mean, especially knowing now what we know. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was weird. That was definitely weird. But yeah, but when the German version is just us being dubbed, so that's a little strange to hear.
Yeah.
That's
Interesting. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me again on here. Looking forward to Ed and already trying to think of what to ask him. So,
Yeah. Thank you again. You're one of our favorite. We appreciate all your posts and for being here. And I'm glad we'll see you on the 11th. It should be a good time.
really looking forward to it. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks.
You too. Who else we got?
Well,
We're
I want to
almost
say
done.
I want to say what's up to my man Casey really quick, who's up there and who's been. Thanks, bro. He's my buddy. He's my pal.
Bring him on, see if we
Just say hello real quick. What's up, brother?
What is up?
Now, how come he's in his own separate world? Are you on your phone?
Come on. No, this is my laptop. There I am. I'm on my couch on your couch.
You
Oh, there
always
we
got to
go.
be different, Casey. Jesus.
Yeah, I brought out the big guns.
maybe an
Casey's
outdated version of Zoom or something.
Casey's a producer and an actor himself. No, he's just got to be different. He's playing us right
different.
now. He's got his graph art in the background. But anyway, Casey is a producer, writer, good buddy of mine. Shout out, Casey. Thanks, brother, for all you do.
Ooh, my pleasure. Happy to be here. Happy
Now
to help.
get the fuck off our couch with your weird other couch. Hey, so I think it's basically time to wrap this up at the moment. What do you think, guys?
Well, I thought it was a lot of fun. Richard, what did you think of? I mean, you've been.
It's a great, just like it just moves. It moves. It's great. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you,
That's
Richard.
awesome.
We love having you as our honorary fucking. You're one of us now.
Yeah, I'm happy to be part.
Darren, do you want to just tell the fans how they can, get on the couch with us and all that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of simple for those watching right now, or if you watch it later on. We have a free tier, so you don't have to pay anything to be a part of the community and the inside. If you want to be a real part of it, then there's a $5 tier. We also have a $25 tier where you get to be in the room, I believe, in these Zooms. Is that right, Brian? Is a 25 Slacker starter? They get to see the show. But it's the elite sloucher level at the $100 that you're a panelist and you get a Zoom invite. You raise your hand, just like all of our guys that came on the couch today. I should be careful with the way I word that after talking about porn stars. Can't mention that after Ron Jeremy. So sorry about the slip up. Bad writing. But anyway, it's that's the tier level, and I really want more people to join, because in 2 weeks when we have daddy's coming home, right? I mean, it's going to be weird to see father and son reunited after almost 30 years. I mean, seriously, the fans have not seen these two together unless you were at the reunion in LA for almost 30 years now. So this is a real big deal. And I'm sure Richard's excited for that. I bet you the No Ma'am guys will be there. And I don't know what I'm going to ask them, but I know I'm going to watch that Godfather episode at least 3 times until then. So
can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. But I mean, it's been a lot of fun, and today's episode was so great having another legendary writer, a 4-time Emmy Award winner, just seeing Richard Gurman with Greg Fitzsimmons. I mean, this is a very legit podcast we have here.
Yeah, that was great to see Greg here. I thought he was a great guest. He was a lot of fun, and I love his energy. And I didn't. It's funny because, I didn't really know his work that much. He didn't know mine. I kind of deep dive and I became a fan. I thought this special was great.
Yeah, he's really funny. He's one of the best out there. And if you've ever seen a lot of podcasts out there, he does a lot of podcasts. He's on other podcasts. He's got 3 of his own. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
I mean, 4 Emmys, Richard, that's a pretty big deal, right?
Really do.
So I think that's pretty cool. But it was great to have him. He texted me afterwards. He said he had a great time. So
great.
Maybe he'll be a regular on our show as well.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think we'll wrap it up. Richard, if you could give us a Whoa Bundy on the way out, I think that would be awesome.
Hey, whoa,
Jablonski.
I see what you did there.
All right.
All right, join us in 2 weeks.
Hey guys, thanks everybody for your input, and friends and friends that I don't know that well. Thank you guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Keep posting on the site. Let's keep this thing alive. I love seeing all these things that I didn't even know about the show. It's really fun. It's really cool. So I appreciate you guys. Darren, Brian, thank you. Brian, the genius back there, Jizza. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.